All right, welcome to Zero George. Today we're going to give you a little glimpse into our cooking classes. We've got a very long growing season here in the Low Country, which allows us to use a broad range of vegetables. Everything, from asparagus lapping over into tomato season. So today we're going to kind of do a salad, a nice chilled salad with vegetables from the end of spring here in Charleston. What we have is we're going to do chilled asparagus salad with shaved fennel and a blood orange vinaigrette. And finish it off with a few orange supremes. All right, so let's get started. We like to kind of do it by concepts and techniques here at Zero George when we teach our classes. I want you to be able to cook at home the same way that you would, a chef would cook in a restaurant. So I'm not going to give you a bunch of recipes, and I know right now you're saying, oh, no recipes, right? But we're going to show you some ratios, tips, and techniques to be able to cook like a chef at home without using recipes. So we're going to start with our asparagus, and a lot of you have probably seen this trick. We give a little snap to see where the asparagus should cut off. But the next trick is we're just going to cut the rest of it off in that area, okay? So I've got my asparagus, and back here I've got a pot of water boiling. I've got it salted pretty heavily. You want your water to be about as salty as ocean water. So remember going to the beach and what it tastes like. We have a fond memory of it here. We get to see it all the time. Of course, we're lucky enough to be close to the beach. But I want my water to taste almost like ocean water. So I'm going to drop not too many in at a time. If you're doing this party for more than one person, obviously you usually would be 4, 5, 6 people, we want to just do about a portion at a time. For this class, we're going to use 5 asparagus per person because it's a nice little first course dish at lunch here at Zero George. So I'm going to blanch my asparagus. While the asparagus starts blanching, I've got a little bit of ice water reserved on the side. We're going to take our fennel and we're going to shave it. I've got a nice little Japanese mandolin, very convenient to have. Mind your fingers, of course. And we're just going to shave this really nice and about as paper thin as you can get it to shave, okay? So with that shaved, we're going to go ahead and get a little bowl. Use your knife, it's a tool, right? Another chef trick. I've got some blood orange vinegar here. We're going to splash it fairly heavily. Usually for an emulsified vinaigrette, which you're used to eating on most salads, we're going to do a ratio of 1 part vinegar to 3 parts oil to make the emulsification. Well, what we do in this case, which is more of a broken vinaigrette, what we're going to do is 2 to 1. So we're going to cut down the amount of oil. We're going to do about 2 parts of oil to 1 part vinegar. Okay? So I'm going to get this in here, get my salt real quick. I've got some nice Maldon sea salt. We'll give it a pinch. I want to crush that between my fingers and kind of get it in there, smushed up a little bit there so that it can get all in here. Give it tossed around a little bit. And there we go. Now fennel, you might think, wow, we're going to eat this fennel raw. But the acid in the vinegar is going to start to break that fennel down a little bit so that it softens up for us. So we'll have just enough time, as I look back here at my asparagus, almost done, we'll have just enough time to soften up the fennel, okay? While we do that, we're going to go on to our technique of the day. And you can see I've already started it. What we're going to do, this is called a supreme, or a supreme if you don't want to be French and fancy. So we just need to cut down the sides. Of course, you cut both ends off. And we'll just slowly follow the contour of the orange. The better round shape you can keep, obviously the better looking your supremes will come out. Now, of course, this takes a little bit of practice. Make it look a little bit easy because I've done it a million times. But we just want to do that. And then you'll find in between each between each segment, you'll see the little line or the pith. We just want to go in between that with the knife and cut out little sections, like so. So what we end up with are these beautiful little orange segments called supremes. Okay? So that was the technique we wanted to do for this dish. And almost every dish we do here at Zero George during our cooking classes, we go through 3 to 4 techniques per class so that you can actually learn a new technique that you can use for any other dish. Supremes, for example, a nice beet salad with orange supremes, a nice ceviche with maybe some lime or lemon supremes, or a nice fish dish with supremes would be nice as well. You can use that for many different things. And that's the reason we cover different techniques here when we do the cooking classes. Okay, so my asparagus, I went a little bit over. Usually I'd go for about 45 seconds. And that's about how long it takes to usually blanch the asparagus when you're going to cook it again and reheat it. But for this, I want to do about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes because we're actually doing this as a chilled salad. This asparagus won't get heated up and cooked again. So now, believe it or not, this dish is almost there. Okay? So I'm going to get my plate here. Get my asparagus out of the water here. Okay. So you can see nice pretty color because of the salt in the water. Keep your nice bright green. Now we're going to go on to one of the things that I talked about earlier. We want to teach you how to think like a chef. Now at home, people are going to want to use even numbers. They're going to evenly space things out. But plating is more of an art form, really. We want to make the plate look like it naturally happened. I know that it's totally staged, but that's the trick in plating like a chef. So we're going to kind of bundle these asparagus together, but as you can see, they're not perfect. I've got one laying off to the side here. They're not evenly spaced. That's what you want when you're plating, okay? I'm going to take a little bit of this fennel. This is the actual top of the fennel. I bought the whole bulb, the whole fennel bulb. We just took the top, pulled it off. So I'm going to take a little bit of this. We'll pull it. Now I didn't put that in earlier because we don't want that herb to get soggy. We want it to stay nice, bright, and fresh. So we'll add that little bit of fennel top here at the end, which is really cool because we're using, 2 parts of this fennel bulb. We don't have to throw away all that bulb top, okay? We'll give it one little last toss. And you can see already, just in the amount of time that it's taken, and it's already kind of wilted a little and gotten a little softer here, our fennel bulb. So once again, I don't want this to be perfect. I want you to just kind of look and say, okay, here's what we're doing. I'm going to pull it, put it on here, a little bit of drain, just let it kind of sit on there. Let a piece fall off. Let that herb sit a little wild right there. That's exactly what we want. Same with our oranges. We're going to come back with our orange segments. We'll just kind of place some randomly around the plate. And I want to do odd numbers. You'll notice I have 5 pieces of asparagus. And I have 3 orange segments here, right? Looks great. Looks like something you'd get at a restaurant. And it's something you can easily recreate at home. All right? And if you want to, we can finish up with just a little bit of fennel randomly placed around the dish. And there we go. We have a beautiful spring salad, nice spring vegetables, late winter harvest on the oranges. Just a very nice dish you can do at home. We'll take a little bit of vinaigrette that we made. We'll just kind of, once again, we'll just splash it in here. Look at that. Very nice. And that is the type of dish that we do here at the cooking classes at Zero George.